Welcome to Omasae. In today's world of noise, rush, and clutter, there's quiet joy in stepping into a garden that speaks in whispers. A space where the wind rustles through leaves, the sunlight filters gently across aged surfaces, and the past is repurposed into something beautiful. This is not just about saving money. It's about finding peace through simplicity. It's about discovering that calm can be crafted, not bought, and that the soul of a garden often lies in the forgotten and the weathered. In this video, we're sharing inspired ideas for creating a soothing outdoor space using what you already have, upcycled materials filled with warmth, character, and life. From rustic textures to imperfect charm, each idea is chosen for the way it contributes to a peaceful mood and a sense of quiet purpose. Whether you garden on a balcony, a patio, or a backyard, these ideas will bring serenity without spending much. So pour a cup of tea, take a deep breath, and join us on this gentle journey. And if you find yourself inspired, we invite you to like, subscribe, and share your own calming garden stories in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. Peaceful gardens aren't always about grandeur or expensive makeovers. Sometimes, the calmest spaces are created with the most modest means: a cracked pot, a sun-bleached crate, or a forgotten tool, all placed with thought and care. This video celebrates that philosophy. Each idea we'll explore transforms discarded or overlooked objects into elements of grounding, beauty, and soul. What connects them isn't just their affordability, but the quiet elegance they bring to a garden. There's a rhythm to these materials: aged wood, soft fabric, worn stone, that brings us closer to nature, to stillness, to ourselves. In a world that often celebrates the new, we're honoring the beauty of what's already lived a life. These objects aren't perfect, and they don't need to be. In fact, their imperfections are what make them right for a space meant to soothe the senses. As we move through each idea, think of your garden not as a project, but as a reflection of your own inner calm. Each reclaimed piece is an opportunity to slow down, to be resourceful, and to invite timeless charm into your life. There's something quietly joyful about placing an old teacup in a bed of thyme or setting a teapot among the marigolds. Vintage tea sets, chipped, mismatched, or whole, evoke grace, warmth, and gentle ritual. You can plant succulents in them, turn teapots into tiny fountains, or simply let them sit beneath a bush as a delightful surprise for anyone who looks closely. They speak of pause, of conversation, of soft moments shared over warm drinks. In the garden, they become relics of a slower time, reminders that elegance doesn't require expense. A teacup on a stone slab becomes a still life. A sugar bowl in a hanging basket becomes a home for moss or marbles. These delicate pieces, often tucked away in cupboards, find new purpose in the garden. Their porcelain shimmer contrasts with leaves and soil, creating harmony between the man-made and the natural. Let them sit, let them age, let them gather dew. Their fragility adds tenderness to your garden's soul. And perhaps, when you pass by them, you'll remember a table, a laugh, a hand on your shoulder, the quiet comfort of a cup shared, and the grace of daily rituals made beautiful again. Reclaimed bricks are more than sturdy, they're deeply grounding. Weathered by time, chipped at the corners, and rich in earthy reds and browns, these bricks carry stories of what came before. In a peaceful garden, they provide not just structure but soul. Use them to build low-edging walls that softly define space without overpowering it. Lay them in curved pathways that invite quiet strolls under leafy canopies. When arranged in natural, slightly uneven rows, reclaimed bricks whisper of age, of patience, of permanence. There's comfort in stepping on something solid, especially when that something has survived decades of sun and storm. Their visual weight anchors your space, making planters and flower beds feel deliberate, embraced. Even a single line of brick can frame a patch of moss or a fern with elegance. And because no two are quite alike, they celebrate imperfection, a key element in a calm, Wabi-Sabi garden. When you lay reclaimed bricks by hand, you're creating more than a walkway. You're creating rhythm, intention, and a sense of arrival in your outdoor retreat. Pair them with soft grasses or creeping ground covers to let nature peek through the cracks. A quiet reminder that nothing is ever fully still, and that's part of the beauty. There's something quietly magical about movement, especially when it's created by the wind, gently brushing through your space. Torn fabric strips, especially from soft cotton or linen, become a tactile kind of wind chime when tied to branches, bamboo poles, or even repurposed coat hangers. Their worn edges flutter like leaves, catching light and shadow as they dance. You don't need perfect patterns. In fact, fading florals, vintage tablecloths, or old shirts work beautifully. The goal is to evoke feeling, not precision. When these strips sway in the breeze, they add a soothing, kinetic energy to the garden. It's subtle, meditative, and deeply human. The movement tells you the wind is there, but you don't need to see the trees to know it. If you place them near a seating area or a quiet corner, they act like whispers, turning your garden into a sensory escape. You can even dip the ends in herbal-scented water or essential oils to create gentle fragrance as they move. Add beads or shells for a soft click or clink if you like, but simplicity is key. This is about softness, not spectacle. And every time they flutter, they remind you that beauty can be made from what's frayed and faded. Woven baskets, the kind you might find at a flea market or the back of your closet, offer a warmth that's hard to replicate. Their texture is organic, their curves inviting. When used as planters, they create an earthy softness that ceramic pots can't quite match. Line them with a layer of burlap or a reused plastic bag with drainage holes. Then fill with soil and trailing plants like thyme, ivy, or sweet potato vine. Over time, the basket itself may weather, fade, or fray, and that's part of the charm. Unlike rigid containers, these baskets breathe. They belong to a garden that values the handmade, the worn, the heartfelt. Cluster several together under a bench, hang them from a shepherd's hook, or tuck one into the corner of a stone step. They're unassuming, yet full of character. And their color, soft beige, sun-faded brown, maybe a hint of old dye, pairs beautifully with green leaves and blooming herbs. They evoke the feeling of a quiet countryside, of afternoons spent gathering. And when the season ends, they don't need to be stored. Let them become part of the cycle, breaking down slowly if they must, giving back to the earth as quietly as they arrived. Bamboo, even when old and slightly split, carries grace in its lines. It offers strength without stiffness, structure without shouting. In a calm garden, bamboo poles can become low fences, trellises, or vertical dividers that suggest boundaries without enclosing space. Their hollow forms echo the stillness of traditional Japanese gardens, where less is often more. Cut them to different lengths, lash them with twine, or lean them in tripods to support climbing beans or morning glories. Let them age and silver in the sun. Their beauty doesn't lie in perfection. The soft tap of one pole against another in the wind adds gentle rhythm to your space. You can also stake them near seating areas as plant markers or subtle sculptural elements. Bamboo invites verticality, which draws the eye upward, giving your garden a sense of openness, even in small spaces. It blends into nature while still providing subtle human touch. In a budget-conscious garden, bamboo is a quiet hero, simple, graceful, and endlessly useful. There's something deeply nostalgic about wooden crates. Maybe they once carried fruit, milk bottles, or tools, but now they carry stories. Repurposed as planters, crates bring rustic character with their slatted sides and weathered wood grain. The way they hold plants feels generous, open, relaxed. Stack two to make a tiered herb garden. Add casters to the bottom for a movable flower bed. Place one near your doorstep, filled with seasonal greens and moss for an instant welcome. Their imperfections, a missing plank, a rusted nail, make them all the more beautiful. You can sand them lightly, stain them, or leave them raw. Line the inside with breathable fabric or repurposed plastic to hold soil. Then, fill with rosemary, dusty miller, or soft ferns. These crates don't pretend to be anything fancy. They just work, honestly and humbly. And that humility makes them soulful. They speak of work and warmth, of gardens made by hand. Let them lean, let them soften in the rain. They're meant to be part of the landscape, not just placed in it. With time, they blend into the scene, becoming less like containers and more like companions in your peaceful retreat. A rusty old bucket might not look like much at first glance, but with just a little water, a smooth stone, and a touch of placement, it becomes a portal to peace. Small water features don't need pumps or power. A simple bucket filled with rainwater and floating petals reflects the sky above, a still, shimmering mirror that anchors the space around it. Tuck it beneath a fern or next to a bench where you sip your morning tea. Add a single bamboo stalk, a handful of river rocks, or a sprig of mint. If you choose to let the metal rust and soften, it will only deepen the feeling of age and time. The sound of dripping water, even from a simple ladle or gutter, becomes part of your garden's voice. These little features attract birds, reflect light, and calm the senses. In a small space, they act as quiet focal points. In larger gardens, they create moments of pause. Buckets may be humble, but they remind us that stillness doesn't have to be grand. It just has to be real. And in the right corner, with the right light, they shimmer like still pools of memory. Old roofing tiles, especially terracotta or clay, are built to endure. Their shape, weight, and patina give them a rustic elegance that fits seamlessly into a peaceful garden. Set them into gravel or soil to form winding paths that curve gently through your plants, an invitation to slow your steps and take in your surroundings. Use them as edging for flower beds or vegetable plots, creating defined yet relaxed boundaries. Their natural color harmonizes with earth tones, greens, and grays, blending into the garden rather than standing out. Even cracked or broken tiles can be laid in mosaic-like patterns, adding texture and interest without shouting. Over time, moss may creep along their surface, and rain will deepen their color, enhancing their aged charm. The repetition of shape, one tile after another, creates rhythm and flow, key elements of a calming outdoor space. They're not just functional, they're poetic. These tiles remind us that things once overhead can now guide us beneath our feet. a lovely reversal that brings warmth, grounding, and a sense of gentle order to any garden. Glass, especially when it's old or colored, brings something magical to a garden. The way it catches and plays with light can turn the most ordinary moment into something special. Grouped glass jars, clear, green, blue, become sun catchers, reflecting golden rays across your plants in the early morning or late afternoon. Hang them from tree branches, fill them with pebbles or sand, or use them as candle holders for twilight hours. Even empty, their presence feels deliberate and calming. You can press them into the soil to line a path or use them as vessels for tiny cuttings, herbs, or feathers found on a walk. Their transparency invites reflection, both literal and emotional. Old bottles, worn smooth, speak softly of time. When arranged in odd numbers or nestled among stones, they become like still lakes in a forest, quiet, present, serene. And when light filters through them, it transforms your garden into a place of gentle glows and quiet shimmer. In a calm garden, glass isn't flashy, it's thoughtful. And with nothing more than a few jars from your recycling bin, you can turn sunlight into your most beautiful decoration. There's a quiet beauty in the imperfect, a chipped saucer, a cracked bowl, a plate with faded patterns. Instead of throwing them away, broken ceramics can become gentle, emotional accents in your garden. Embed shards into stepping stones or mosaic paths, letting their curves catch sunlight and rain. Line the rim of a garden bed with mismatched pottery pieces, creating a storybook edge that feels personal and handmade. Nestle a broken teacup into a patch of moss, and suddenly you've created a scene that invites closer inspection. Each piece, flawed and unfinished, becomes a symbol of resilience and beauty. This is the essence of Wabi-Sabi, finding grace in what's been worn, used, and weathered. Broken ceramics remind us that gardens aren't about perfection. They're about presence, about seeing beauty where others might not look. These fragments reflect light and memory, glimpses of past meals, old shelves, and hands that once held them. Use them sparingly, as punctuation marks in your garden story. Their stillness, their quiet glint, helps slow the eye, encouraging you to stop, to notice, to breathe. In their brokenness, they offer completeness. Thank you for joining us on this journey through quiet beauty and soulful reuse. As you've seen, calm doesn't require perfection. It's found in cracked tiles, softened wood, worn fabric, and objects that still have something to give. These upcycled elements, gathered and placed with care, create not only a garden but a state of mind, a sanctuary built from memory, texture, and intention. We hope these ideas have inspired you to look again at what surrounds you, to see not junk, but opportunity, not waste, but wonder. Each piece you use tells your story, layering your garden with history and grace. As you step outside next time, may you feel encouraged to craft your own moments of calm, not through buying, but through creating. If this video brought you a little peace or sparked a new idea, please consider liking, subscribing, and sharing your thoughts below. Your presence helps us grow a community rooted in creativity, mindfulness, and warmth. Until next time, keep tending to your garden and to your soul.